everybody, you know, our setup, what we bring with us, stuff I kind of consider to be essential, some stuff not necessarily essential, but makes it a lot more comfortable. So, you know, there's people with a lot more time and money into this than me, but this is a, you know, pretty basic setup. Something, you know, similar to this will definitely get you started. Let's jump in and take a look at all this stuff. One of the things that I found is very beneficial is a good sturdy table for cooking, as a work platform. You know, something we kind of take for granted since we're surrounded by tables and countertops and everything in our everyday life, but when you get out on the trail, it becomes apparent pretty quickly when you don't have that convenience. So what we use is just these DeWalt folding tables. I haven't bought one in a while, but I think they were around $100. Last time I bought one. They've got a 1,000-pound weight rating on them, so they're plenty sturdy, and they fold right out. Easy deployment, very strong, great for cooking on. You know, makes a good impromptu workbench. So something I never leave home without. I also have a full-size 2500 pickup with a truck bed, so some of you guys might be packing a little bit lighter than me. When you're done, folds right up. Alright, so we've got all our gear and everything. What are you going to pack it in? You got to have something, a box, container. You know, you can't have a bunch of tools and random gear rolling around loose, so go find yourself something. I went with Expedition 134 boxes. So far, I've been running them for a couple years. They're, you know, plenty stout. You can use them for actually as a step if you need to. I weigh 240, 250 pounds and I can stand on them no problem. Something to keep in mind, they aren't completely watertight. So, you know, you could end up with a little moisture inside of them if you are running them uncovered on a roof rack or something. Again, pickup bed with a tonneau cover. I don't really have to worry about it. Plus they do have a seal around the lid. They just don't fully seal. So let's start with what I would consider maybe not necessary, but handy, convenient. Pair of gloves. Definitely bring some gloves. I've got some leather gloves. I've got rubber gloves as well that I keep packed in the boxes. You know, when you're out on the trail trying to conserve water, keeping your hands clean to begin with by utilizing the gloves. If you got to, you know, do any work on the rig, you know, moving logs, cutting trees, whatever you got to do, you know, just keeping your hands clean to begin with saves on wash up later. So, you know, plus with the leather gloves, it saves you bumps and bruises and cuts and stuff on the hands. So definitely some gloves. Safety glasses. These I recommend. What you don't think about is when you get underneath the rig and you're laying on your back trying to work on it, everything stuck to the bottom of the truck is trying to unstick itself and fall in your eyeballs. So it's another one that's not really necessary, but highly suggest it. paracord. I've got a 250-foot roll of paracord here that I keep. Handy stuff. Strong, lightweight, easy to work with. I've used some of this on every trip we've been on the last few years, so another one. Highly recommend some paracord. This one I haven't used a whole lot yet, but this TechFlex safety wire and their little tool that it comes with for tying wire, pretty cool little deal here. And there's some instructions and stuff that come with it, but there's all kinds of different techniques, knots and stuff you can tie up with the wire with this. You know, if you got the hose clamp that busts and you don't have any extra hose clamps, you can actually use this along with this tool to tie the wire tight enough to make a seal on pretty much any of your hoses. So again, not necessary, but potentially handy. This is kind of hard to tell what's in it, but it's a patch kit that I put together for tents. You know, vinyl patches, essentially. You got some patch glue. Looks like I threw some Loctite in there, I guess. It's been a while since I put this together. Some rubbing alcohol. Always good for cleaning stuff, cutting through grease, clean patch. Everybody's got some kind of electronics, so an assortment of batteries. Always handy to bring along. You got double A's, triple A's, some of the big guys there. I keep a couple 55-gallon trash can bags handy. They're good for all kinds of stuff. Laying on, if you got to get down on the ground to work on something, they can save you from getting too dirty while you're down there. Also, it's just a bag. It's just handy as a bag. So I found them useful for all kinds of different things. For me, charging cameras, stuff like that, inevitably phones, I bought a Jackery. It's the little one. I don't even remember what size they go up to now, but this is the 240. I think it's the smallest one you can get. I've, you know, on 1 to 2 week trips, I've never had this thing go down below 80%. On, you know, the first trips we went on, and then upgraded and got the solar panels for it, so we can stay charged the entire trip. Yeah, usually what I'll do is just set up the panels in the morning or something while we're breaking camp and plug the Jackery in, let it charge up for, you know, an hour or so, and then pretty much keeps the Jackery charged, and in turn cameras, phones, laptops, tablets, whatever else we got with us, we're always charged up, ready to go. The other handy thing about the Jackery, we got lights, got our USB light string here, and then we also have a little more conventional looking, it's in the bubble wrap, but it's a USB light bulb that also plugs into the Jackery. So light, it's useful if you want to see. else do we have? I think maybe we're, oh yeah. Another thing I invested in was good, strong, lightweight. They're a green elephant poles here, and essentially you've got telescoping locking poles with a deal on the end there and a cap, and these go right into any kind of tarp eyelets. Yeah, I bought a sunshade that's, you know, it's got eyelets on it. It's a big, I think this one's like 20 by 20 or 20 by 30 or something. I found this really useful though for tarps. They are really lightweight but hold up really well. You know, I've had them set up in storms and stuff, and they did totally fine. You know, a couple of these, you know, tree, you know, tie them off to even just the truck or the Jeep or both. They work really well, so something to consider getting also. You bring one or two of these along with you, depending how long you're going to be out. All it takes is one little chunk off of this thing, and torch, and you will have a ripping campfire in about 5 minutes with minimal effort. So kind of the last creature comfort thing, I guess. We can get into sort of the, what I would call the important stuff that you need to have. So tires, you gotta have tires to roll. More importantly, inflated tires. So you're gonna want a decent tire repair kit. This ARB one comes with, you know, everything you need pretty much. You got plugs, plug tools, all that, some pliers. Yeah, it's pretty much everything you're gonna need to do a tire patch on the trail. Other than a, you know, big repair. But you know, there's other ones out there. It doesn't have to be ARB. Just make sure it's, you know, a fully outfitted kit, has everything in it. Some kind of air, also very important. I think a lot of people, you know, probably carry at least a small compressor. On, you know, some of these trips though, you're going to be airing up, airing down multiple times, you know, sometimes multiple times in a day. So being able to do that as quickly as possible is kind of important when you're trying to cover ground. So I've got these, they come in this nice little case here. They're from Real 4x4. I think maybe it's an Australian company, but basically they're an air down tool. So it comes with 4 of these in the pouch here. And what I like about these is you preset them to a determined pressure setting, and you just screw them on. You walk around, put all 4 of them on at once. They air down while you're sitting there waiting. They stop by themselves. So pretty handy. You don't have to do one tire at a time, because that can take a while. And then to air back up, My Jeep actually has onboard air on it, so it's not as much of a concern with that one. My pickup, however, does not. So I got this Ironman 4x4 air compressor. Yeah, again, it's been a while since I bought it. I think, I believe it was between $100 and $150. Again, I've been using it for a couple years now. It's done fine. I've got 33-inch 10-ply tires on the Dodge, and it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes probably to air back up using this. So not too bad. Relatively small package, doesn't take up too much room. Maybe you want something smaller, I don't know, shop around. That's just what I use, and it's been working fine for me. So none of this is a plug for any of these companies. It's just kind of what I ended up with and what I'm currently using. So alright, well, let's talk tools, because that is something you definitely should not hit the trail without. I've got this little tool pouch here that you can probably do 80% of everything you're gonna really ever need to do with what I have in here. Screwdrivers, some small vice grips, little file here, handy to have for various things. Multimeter for figuring out electrical issues. Small crescent wrench. Some wire cutters, some large wire cutters. Some smaller dikes here. Now this is something really handy. These are made by Nipex, and they're pliers wrenches. Basically they're adjustable, and you can really get actually a good grip on bolts with these things. So highly recommend getting your hands on some of these guys. Electrical tape, tape measure. This should cover most of your basic needs. Then for bigger stuff, we just got a bigger crescent wrench, a couple of bigger sets of our pliers wrenches here from Nipex. Very handy tools. Breaker bar, bring yourself one of those. Almost forgot to mention Gorilla Tape. You can use duct tape, but bring Gorilla Tape. It's a lot stronger and a lot stickier. Very handy stuff. Some form of rechargeable work light, also handy. Throw this in the box every time we go on a trip also, so you can bring all the tools you want, but if you can't see anything, it's pretty hard to make a fix. Alright, well, next let's take a quick look at our cooking setup here. All of our cooking apparatuses, utensils, plates, everything fits into this one Expedition 134 box. I went with the Jetboil Base Camp cooking setup, And this is essentially self-contained in its case here. There's a pot lid and a frying pan here. Underneath those, you have the stove itself that folds up nice and small. When you fold it out, you got dual burners. So that's nice. You can be cooking in the frying pan or in the pot here. And there's a little windscreen that goes around this, but I'm not going to bother digging it out right now. I think you guys kind of get the idea. I've been really happy with this. Had it for probably 2 years now. Runs off the classic little green propane bottles. Pretty handy little utensil setup here. Spatula, got some tongs, and kind of ladle style spoon there. There's also a soap holder and a little spice container in here that holds about 3 or 4 different kinds of spices. I got salt and pepper and garlic powder and onion powder in there. They call this a cutting board. It is handy for cutting stuff on sometimes, but calling it a full-fledged cutting board is taking a little bit of a liberty there, I think, which is why I have that guy stuffed in there. Utensils, some plastic utensils, tough, durable, lightweight, easy to clean. Cups, again, plastic plates, nice and tough. It's just your preference to some extent. They've got metal camp cookware. There's some reasons I don't really like it, but I'll let you figure out what you want to use on your own. That pretty much covers it. I'll let you get a look inside here. I've got some canned food, some Spam. Keep about 3 or 4 of these propane bottles in here. Can opener. That's pretty much it. It's our camp kitchen there. Alright, a couple other important things. Water. We bring 3 5-gallon jugs with us. I think one of them's actually a little bit more, maybe 6 or 7 gallons, but basically we bring about 15 gallons of water with us, and we refill every chance we get if we're by a campsite. Sometimes even if you happen by a gas station, store, whatever, it's not the most convenient or cost effective, but you can always just buy gallon jugs of water and fill back up. But water, kind of important, so something to keep in mind. You're going to want some kind of water storage. And the other thing that a lot of people neglect is a toilet. You're going to want one of these. Maybe not this exact one, but you're going to want some kind of portable camping toilet. I like this one. It's small, lightweight, packs down real well. You get the waste bags that have clumping and anti-odor agents in them. There's 12 of them in a box. Basically, you put the bag in the toilet. You guys all know what a toilet does and what it's used for, so I'll let you kind of figure out the rest from there. The bags come with another Ziploc sealed bag. So basically everything that ends up in the toilet is double bagged and chemically treated to some degree by the agents in the waste bags. Again, there's a lot of places, you know, national parks, areas where there's dispersed camping without any kind of toilets or anything. You got to deal with it yourself, and you are not allowed to and also should not leave any waste behind. So again, this is just the one I have. You might find something that you like better. Just get something. That's all that matters. Something else to keep in mind when you're out there is communication, both long range and short range. There's some different options. I strongly suggest to anybody doing anything, go get your ham operator license. It's really easy. I can't remember what it cost, but it wasn't very much. Go pick up, I mean, you can spend a lot of money on them, or you can go get a cheap, you know, sub $100 ham radio, and you know, you can really reach out there with these things. Really good to have in an emergency situation. They've got the NOAA Weather Channel on them, so you know, I've yet to find somewhere where I couldn't find somebody on a channel somewhere. So pretty important in my mind. We also have some small, kind of cheaper, just walkie-talkie style radios for vehicle to vehicle communication. I think these ones were around $100. They're GXT Midland brand. Yeah, they've worked fine for us. Yeah, just bring this charger, jackery. Charge them up every night, make sure they're good to go in the morning. We haven't gotten far enough away from each other to have them not work yet, so yeah, cover your bases, long range and short range if you can. I know everybody's not going to go out and get a ham license, but I won't go too far into the communications aspect of all this, because that's not really what this video is about. But something to keep in mind, and you know, do your research and figure out what's going to work best for you, and you know, take something with you, and you know, definitely try to bring some form of long range signaling device with you, even if it's not a radio. They do make even just emergency signal beacons that'll notify park services, Coast Guard, you know, basically all the emergency services will get some kind of notification. So look into them, be safe out there. Number one thing when you're adventuring, safety. You know, and on that note of safety, in a perfect world, and hopefully that's the case for everybody, but people get hurt, things happen. Have a basic first aid kit at the least. with you all the time. I keep one in my backpack, and I also keep a little bit more outfitted one in my truck. And there is always the potential for some actual traumatic injuries to occur. So I have tourniquets, several of them. I keep them 2 or 3 in my bag, 2 or 3 in my truck, 2 or 3 in the Jeep. Just have tourniquets around all over. These will save your life. Got some chest patches for sucking chest wounds, impalement. You might need these. Otherwise, you may not be able to breathe. So I keep a couple of those. I've got 2 patches, one for the front, one for the back. Gauze, this is just dressing, just emergency dressing. I also keep some combat gauze. This stuff has a clotting agent in it, and it will help stop bleeding a lot better than just a regular dressing on a bleeding wound. So pretty basic stuff there. You know, with a little bit of training or even self-training, pretty much anybody can apply this stuff. So, you know, never something we want to think about. You know, loved ones, children, stuff like that getting hurt, but it can happen. And when you are in the backcountry, far away from emergency services and personnel, you might be the only thing standing between, you know, the difference of life and death. So my suggestion is just, you know, be prepared. Well, I just want to say thanks for watching. Hopefully the video was helpful for anybody looking to get outfitted for overlanding or extended camping. Just a cursory overview of some of the stuff we take with us. Yeah, if you have any questions about any of the gear, feel free to leave a comment. Any suggestions, input, again, leave a comment if you want. If the video was helpful, please hit the like button. By the time this one gets published, we will have actually completed our next trip, which was 9 days down in the Mojave Desert. Really good trip. Found some really cool camps. Wildflowers were blooming, cactuses were blooming. Ran into a lot of wildlife. Just a really good trip. We had a killer time. Should be a good video, so subscribe to catch that one. It'll be coming out soon here. And check out sbradventures.com. Got some new shirts and designs and stuff out, sweatshirts. And other than that, again, thanks for watching, much appreciated. And get out there and have an adventure, be safe.